Hello and thank you for joining us for Golden Guardians versus 100 Thieves. And last time around, it went the way of Golden Guardians, but that was the first game of Poome and Contractz joining the 100 Thieves roster. So we'll see what it looks like the second time around.
Yeah, exactly. They've had a lot more time with the team. Up at that point, they had only played full scrims with a full roster. I think it was 3 times they had said. So a lot of extra time here for them to actually practice with these players, and it looks a lot more cohesive. From the Golden Guardian side, we probably said it 50 times by now, but Damonte on push and roam style mid laners, especially the global ones, Twisted Fate, Galio, creating plays for Golden Guardians, has been the name of the game for him. Look, another one right here from a couple other games before. It has allowed them to play off of their star jungler closer, as well as fight so many more of these neutral objective 5-on-5s a lot more effectively.
And of course, a 2-0 week last week for Golden Guardians sadly could not come away with a win against FlyQuest just yesterday, but certainly tried their hardest to do so. And ultimately, it's still a team that I think is very interesting to look at here, because I think Golden Guardians, we've talked about closers so many times and how Damonte can be there to enable, but I want to spend some time talking about their bot laner and FBI, because he's been with the team for a while now, and he has, to me, become the most important AD carry to a team right now. Number 1 damage per minute, number 1 in kill participation, number 2 in damage share, number 2 in damage per gold, number 2 in KDA at 15, number 2 in kills and assists at 15, number 1 at CSD at 15, number 1 in gold damage at 15, number 2 in first blood, kill and assists for his role, number 1 in forward percentage. The man is aggressive. He and huhi push in a whole lot. They get a lot done together. FBI is crucial to the late game wins here on the Golden Guardian side, and I want to keep seeing him. I want to keep seeing him do well, because he has done well so many times before.
Yeah, and down on the bottom side, it's usually huhi doing a lot of sacrificing too. He definitely takes the beatings trying to set up a lot of these plays. As you're pointing out, it's worth it. 100 Thieves, oftentimes, we're always going to point towards the other side of the map for them. Early on, you want Cody Sun to be a little bit quieter in lane, and Ssumday and Contractz to create all the action up on the top side. A lot of people have started to throw a lot more bans towards Ssumday, but his champion pool is extremely deep. So let's see what they go with here. Twisted Fate, right off the bat, pretty much 100% big ban thus far. Contractz, the target is on your back from Golden Guardians. 2 Contractz bans right out the gate. Nidalee has only won 1 game in the LCS. It was in the hands of Contractz. He's definitely the only one that's going to get that ban.
And rightly so, by the way, all the attention here, because I looked at the junglers, and I know throughout this split we're talking about closer, number 2 all-pro jungler from the spring split. He's clearly one of the big carries for Golden Guardians. He is tied for first for most kills in an LCS game this split, and as a jungler no less, yes, closer is great. Contractz blows most of his early game stats out of the water. First blood rate, 5 out of 7. 71% first blood rate for Contractz. The man gets it done. Big gold lead, big XP lead in the early game. He gets it all done. Absolutely phenomenal jungler in the early game. Yes, we want to see him play around Ssumday. That's a big matchup for us here as the bans come through. Oh, look! Galio and TF banned away from Damonte, just as you were talking about before with the Graves and Nidalee aimed at Contractz. But Olaf comes through for closer. Golden Guardians want to pinch early game junglers.
Yeah, and Golden Guardians, now I will still want to see them go with a push and roam style mid laner for Damonte. The easy ones with the globals have been taken out, but you can still do things like Echo that have a very similar purpose, where you're trying to push that mid wave and get some roams off. They previously dipped into the Lissandra bucket, but they meme about it themselves. So I feel like they're going to stay away from it. They must have had some internal conversations about the ineffectiveness that they actually came out.
I will say that it was picked as a LeBlanc counter pick both times, so it may have just simply been that. And if we see Ryoma play LeBlanc, which he hasn't all split, so we're probably not going to see Lissandra, then it would be the reason why, as least it gets locked by contract.
It theoretically does the same things that you're looking for, though, right? It does. It shoves the wave. It can be an initiator for Damonte with the hard CC, so it definitely does look good, especially in those situations versus LeBlanc, but Olaf Karma is the name of the game. Buff that jungler up. We've talked about it so many times, especially with this combo, adding the speed and shield to Olaf makes your late game a lot more effective. They're not going to lock it in this round. A little bit of a bait there, but I still really wanted to get locked in round 2 of their choice here before it gets banned away, because I really doubt that Karma would drop down to the second phase of picks.
Maybe Aphelios Thresh, but they're always going Aphelios here. FBI is going to play that every single time. I mean, that or Ezreal is going to play damage champion. And yeah, Karma really is a big pick for huhi here. It is lane dominance. You are missing the Lantern, and I like this, by the way, right? They always are picking Aphelios. They want to spend the full minute discussing, do we want Karma or Thresh? What does that mean for the rest of the comp? What are they banning? What are we losing? What are our solos going to be? Okay. It lines up, it's going to be Karma, right? I like how that was going to go, because it was always Aphelios. It said, yes, you might have to run Cleanse against this much CC. That might be difficult. We don't quite need the Lantern. Let's go for lane aggression instead. Okay, let's see what comes out after it. So Golden Guardians made sure they wanted the Karma, and now you're seeing engaged tanks dropped off the map because Golden Guardians are sorely lacking in that side.
There's plenty of blind picks available for mid lane too, so I expect 100 Thieves to blind something for Ryoma here. You know, Orianna, Zoe, those types of champions that can't get countered super hard. Pretty easy control mage for the mid lane. And then they can save their counter pick for red side, for Ssumday, to get an advantageous matchup for him. Him and Contractz have worked so beautifully to gain advantages for 100 Thieves on that side of the map. So that's why all these top lane bans are coming through. Golden Guardians want to take away options for Ssumday, and Ssumday trying to protect himself here.
I will say, Karma can be flexed here. Damonte can pick it up for his first time in the split. That is another champion with very good wave clear who wants to roam down and help someone out. And we might see huhi go on like an Alistar suddenly instead. And the whole team comp looks different in the way it plays out. You're expecting Karma 9 times out of 10 to go down to huhi there based on what these players have been doing. But I could see it fit the composition. You're seeing more champions with reasonable engage tools taken off the map as Rumble loses the R button as well. That's not been played by Golden Guardians yet the split, but it would certainly work. So Kennen is going to be blind picked to be the top lane matchup and say, I'm going to feel good in all your matchups here, Hauntzer. What you got?
Yeah, I know in LCK they blind pick Kennen a lot, so Ssumday also going to feel comfortable with it. Obviously, you have the 2 build paths to choose from, but overwhelmingly, you always see the AP nowadays. And often a really good answer. Always like having a Sett on my team to dunk the Kennen back out of team fights if the Kennen finds a flank. You always try and mark the Kennen. Where's the teleport coming from? Where is the Kennen actually trying to engage? And you just ult them right back out of the team fight. So that's a direct answer right there for number 1. To your point about Karma, she can build support and still insta-clear back wave if she takes minion dematerializer and spends them that way. That's what Doinb is doing a bunch in LPL, and it is going to be the Zoe though, so support Karma at your service. Okay, well, push and roam, that's the Zoe motto, and that's going to work here pretty well. Has only put 1 game onto it, but it's going to work. Orianna going to be the answer here. I feel like people typically say that feels good for Zoe, but Ryoma going to be on another team fight. Mage ties Azir for the most pick of the split. 100 Thieves have a fairly standard team fight comp. The one thing they're missing is a pure tank. Yes, Ssumday can lock people down, then burn zones if he has to. Contractz can get in and out, take a little bit of damage, but they are missing a pure frontliner. On the other side, this is actually cute, this flex here. Of course, Sett can play support, and Karma can be a more comfortable top lane matchup into the Kennen. Yeah, it definitely does better for that matchup. And the Sett is a whole nother champion simply because of the existence of Hex Flash. If not for the existence of that rune, then we would not see him picked in that role at all, because so much of it comes from having your Nimbus Cloak speed after your Hex Flash and going for those constant threat of engages out of the brush, you know, jumping over walls and using your Q speed on top of it. And that really opens up more doors for him. I definitely like it, especially towards Bard Ashe. You can really threaten for those all-ins.
So Karma top comes through for Hauntzer being champion, unique champion number 10 across his game so far. That's going to be exciting to watch how that continues to unfold, but I like it. I think it looks really good. We'll see how well he can do with his champ overall, and it adds some interesting texture. It does mean that Sett is their only hard engage on the lineup. Zoe can do a little bit with the poke, but it's often hard to make that completely work, you know, kind of 1v5 when there is counterpunch available to the other squad, right? Lee Sin can lay in the Q when you go over, and then follow you and go for kick flash. That's difficult, but possible, and something to watch for here as we are on to the Rift for our last game of the weekend. Golden Guardians only one game above 100 Thieves right now. If they win, they're up a solid 2 games with the 2-0 head-to-head, making it very easy to stay in the upper bracket part of the playoffs. 100 Thieves invade in, and he's going to be slowed. Poome going to lose some health, has to get away with the journey, and a stun for huhi, but he only catches Ashe. Poome will still get the flash, and are you kidding me? Can no one go over the wall? Closer shows up for it. Please land the skill shots. You're killing me. You're not killing Poome. Finally grabs first blood.
Yeah, I mean, huhi flashed to try and get the stun there, but didn't quite have the exact angle, so didn't get them. And they end up having to burn more summoners. They still get the kill, though, Freak. So still rewarded. Money onto Closer, onto the Olaf at the cost of the flash from Olaf. There's no way that you can really punish Olaf early, though, just as Lee Sin, especially with a first blood. So every time, you're very happy to trade your flash like that. Olaf can just fight his way out of any sort of situation that's not a 1v2.
All right, well, red buff start on the one side. Hauntzer going to leash, and he only has about 2 seconds for this, by the way. It's like Q and leave is pretty much how that camp's going to go. Early
Olaf don't need no leash.
Of course. It is technically one. It is a very short leash. You know, it is the TSM jungle of leashes here as Poome.
We're going to take another look at another face check. Funny that you mentioned TSM, because that was kind of the face check that Speed did. But they jumped right on. You saw that flash from huhi, just a little bit off. Didn't get Poome on the other side to bring in for the stun. That's why they're flashing over. That axe does miss. So Closer waits till he sees that he misses the axe, then has to commit the flash, and finally gets the third one.
If Poome had sidestepped that last axe by going 90 degrees north and just guessing correctly, he might have lived. Like, they was so close to not getting that kill. Yeah, you can consider it a misplay for Poome to face check that one and then have to, magical journey away, but also means no lane pressure, by the way.
And no health packs.
One spell.
Exactly, and you don't get to even give the health packs to your mid laner like we've been seeing a lot of the Bard's been doing. huhi, though, immediately able to fish around, and they do see even that ward placed, so early trinket will be known. You have an option for lane ganking. You can slip in there, no extra side brush wards.
Obviously, that's really important when you consider the fact that a flashless Bard is a really easy gank target, and that means that huhi playing that brush for Hex Flash or Closer showing up for a gank from that side of the map would be really, really deadly. So clearing through onto the Krugs at 305, obviously with the extra longsword, increases the spell damage, increases the auto attack damage. Plenty of fast clearing there. Currently up to Camps over Contractz, who's going for top Scuttle. We'll see as that plays out. They probably just trade Scuttle for Scuttle.
Yeah, Lucien not going to be able to keep up with Olaf in the pure clear either. So maybe looks for a top lane play, tries to blow a flash from Hauntzer or something like that. Hauntzer, though, immediately walks down to check Scuttle Crab as Closer alerts him, hey, I'm trading these. Top side is already taken by Contractz. So now Hauntzer can play a little bit safer in the Kennen matchup. I believe Ssumday's got the minion wave in a very nice spot, though. He might even be denying a decent amount. Karma trying to throw out Qs to just CS.
As the recalls come through, double longsword plus blue smite. Closer is very powerful in the jungle. Hauntzer doesn't play a fair bit up, but Ssumday will have a hard time landing crowd control on the Karma, as you can play pretty far away. Doesn't have to walk up to get last hits. Some nice hot cocoa in the back line. It's going to be huhi finding a stun, finding decent damage on a Poome. Big punch comes through as well. A double stun, though, is painful. The root's in place. Poome will stay alive. The Q is going to land on minions, so FBI cannot get any more follow-through. And goes and eats some nice hot chocolate. It's going to feel good again.
Yeah, pretty good heal on the exit side there for himself. Ssumday just CSing away here versus Hauntzer with a small advantage for Hauntzer. But since the minion wave is on Ssumday's side, it's going to start to build up a little bit here. Their reinforcements arrive quicker. No harm, no foul. Pretty good defensive ward here for Hauntzer. And Karma's fairly slippery, hard to gank unless Ssumday can get close enough, land one of those Qs so you can flash in with your E, try and get their mini stun to set up ganks.
Stun's gonna land. Big damage on Cody Sun, but here comes Magical Journey. Suddenly it's a 3 versus 2. Good luck getting away. TP's coming in on both sides as top lane to show up. What's this fight gonna look like now? Stun's gonna land on a 1. Hauntzer and Damonte are both there on the same teleport. Poke lands big damage on a Poome, puts him at 200 HP. They're gonna walk away with the turret alive, but now if there's ever a time to go for Drake, it's now. Your entire squad's right here.
Yeah, so there's two choices here. Golden Guardians need to do the Dragon because they committed all resources. 100 Thieves need to have a rotation to send somebody up to get the top wave. So you can already see on the mini-map, Ryoma pushes mid-wave, then heads up top wave to try and push that too. You can try and stay one rotation ahead of your opponents, and they'll just have, upon reset, Ssumday take over the mid-wave. This is just more efficient use of your solo laners since both of them were able to transition, and they can still pick up the extra minion waves. In exchange, though, Golden Guardians happy to pay for that dragon with the gold of these minion waves. You're going to lose like one melee. The Kennen minion wave is going to soak the rest of them, and Hauntzer's already here.
Yeah, that's the downside, is technically the wave he inherited had a cannon, so the push was slow, and it meant it was pretty easy for Hauntzer to show up in time without losing too much gold. He's comfy, level 6 is there, no problems on that side. Ssumday is actually the one who's a little bit hurting here, as he's going to sit in mid lane for a while. We're seeing Ryoma walk down to that lane, so Ssumday will head back top, but for now he's going to bleed a little bit of farm as the wave is slowly dying. Contractz level 5, tied with Olaf here, close in camp count. And Ssumday will eventually walk over to his lane to get the rest of the gold. Damonte has to fight a smite, won't get that one, but Closer, oh, it's going to be almost a stun. With the bubble, it means there's nothing to be had. Closer shows up, but level deficit means that's going to be difficult. Ssumday can't get much more done. They have to go to the regular lanes.
Yeah, nice defensive sleep there from Damonte. No extra minions lost from Ssumday, though, because it takes Karma a little bit while to build that one back up, and he arrives back top lane just at the arrival of those minions. So even though that teleport bottom was very painful and detrimental to Ssumday, pretty low on CS as we go, at least he's able to get back for the second wave on the bounce back.
All right, well, Spellbook, of course, here for the Karma. Same for the Kennen as they switch out of their teleports and go for Ignite. They took their first big play, and now it's time to play for the 1v1s here as the first piece is coming through. Chalice obviously feels really good on an AP matchup, which Kennen is. That's going to feel super comfortable. Damonte, sorry, we're under too much risk. Ryoma might steal. Closes says, that's my blue buff. Sorry, bud. That's just the way it goes. Lee Sin near the top side. Hauntzer is going to be under attack. Here comes the play. Puts down the tether. Going to be stunned up. Lee Sin is here. No way out. Ulti not required for Contractz. Kill picked up.
Just at the edge of that slicing maelstrom, they catch him with the stun. 2 versus 1. Closer went in. Bottom side is trading currently, though.
No health bars. Closer has to be a little bit respectful. He takes a fair bit of damage, down to 500 HP. Should survive under turret. No ignite, no flash, no ult. He can soak the wave. That's going to be Hauntzer losing a full wave or two to the turret. Has nothing else to do but let Ssumday catch up.
And just, we've been talking so much about how aggressive 100 Thieves look when they switched in Contractz and Poome, and how much Contractz has the highest counter jungle percentage of junglers in the LCS. On top of that, pre-15 minutes, so between 3 and 15 minutes, Ssumday has the highest forward percentage, which means his time spent in the first 15 minutes across the halfway point of the map of any player in the LCS. It's almost 50%. He is at 47% for himself for how aggressive he does play. Contractz goes in, gets the kick.
Ward hop kick. Exhaust not going to land on Ryoma, so not enough follow through as they get away, but still big damage done. That is only a ward hop, not a flash burn for Contractz, so summoner advantage as Damonte is now in a rough spot in mid lane, running out of health.
All right, goes for the red invade afterwards. Should be able to get it up in time. Huhi's on the way.
Gonna find him. There's a Bard nearby. Stun's gonna land. Dunks him right back into the team. Closer is here to grab that kill and a red buff to boot. Now it's time for Poome to get away. He's gonna do so, but Closer and huhi combo in for an easy kill in their own jungle.
They close the trap. Yeah, you've been playing on the enemy side of the map a lot, 100 Thieves, but they get their hands caught in the Brambleback jar there. Can't quite finish it in time. The red buff was very low, but huhi stalls them long enough for Closer to arrive. They get the kill. This is a Rift Herald already on Closer as well, so they can try and push in. He's got so many options to try and get some turret plates. The one thing you got to watch out for, always, and we've been trained so heavily now with Bard being a constant pick, but you have to track the enemy support whenever you're the one with the Rift Herald. Use it away from the Bard, or else it make you look foolish with the ultimate, denying the Rift Herald charge and denying your sweet cash.
And definitely right now. So it's going to be recalls instead. Not boots yet. Has enough money to go for the Phage instead. Gets the warrior upgrade, of course, as well. But he is a little slow to walk across the map. without those items. That's going to take him some time. If he went Inspiration Secondary for the free boots, obviously he can't buy them yet, but they'll be coming in pretty soon. In about, I think, 15 seconds if I have my timing right. Regardless, he's back on the map, killing some chickens, and I want to see what the rest of this game looks like. 1,000 gold lead, plus first Herald yet to cash in, plus first Drake is all on the Golden Guardian side. A second Drake is alive, and there's the free boots in for Olaf.
And they do have Scuttle Crab as well, giving the guaranteed vision, so they should be able to wait this one out. The teleports for both top laners are synced up because of the bottom lane play.
Oh, he's going to mute it all on accident. Shockwave's not going to land easy. You've got to be kidding. They thought he juked it. Damonte was slow, and it meant that they don't land the skill shots anyway. And there's Herald.
Oh my goodness, Freak. Everything whiffs. A thumbs up from Damonte. Nice ults, guys. Nice camp. That also means the Bard ult was used, so the towers are open for business. They use the Rift on bottom side, get some extra cash even over at FBI. He was in range. They get the Dragon in the aftermath. They just threw all their cards at Damonte, and he just stood there.
I don't hate it, because if he timed it right, those ults were perfect. But he was a little slow. The cast animation took too long.
Wait, so you're saying
was untargetable. Ryoma, that one is a bit off. Ryoma, you saw it. You could have done the Shockwave more reactively. Everyone else, I don't hate it.
Okay. Anyways, swing and a miss is very punishable, right? And I love that we get to see the pendulum of League of Legends pressure. You can't just throw out stuff like that with long cooldowns without a big punish. And while we're laughing, Golden Guardians get to collect so much off of that. Extra gold, as well as the Dragon number 2, 12 minutes into the game at a pretty good pace for themselves.
Yeah, looking pretty solid right now. The 100 Thieves early game has been shut down pretty well, and Damonte is ready to move around the map pretty soon. He has been pushed in. It is Ryoma with a lead in the lane right now. Huhi, very active around the map, has his Swifties, ready to roam. Poome got his Mobies, ready to roam as well. Those guys have involved themselves in a little bit in these fights. And we'll see what's next pretty soon as Drakes are stacking. Cloud Soul is the objective eventually. That's going to be next Drake in 4 minutes, as well as a new Herald before too terribly long. Blue easily to Damonte, back to the lane.
Yeah, Damonte super happy with the way that this one's going. Has the extra safety, even though doesn't have access to the flash right now, because switching over, he was able to pick up barrier, I think I saw there with the W. So even if they keep throwing stuff at him, can deny a decent amount of the damage. Closer can even chase 2 members out of his own jungle to go farm it up. Whenever you see that invade, though, you got to know there's wards left behind in your jungle. So they should know they need to do some cleaning on the other side of it.
All right, Poome safe on that one. Easy magical draining gets him out of range. Not almost ever worth chasing that one, except it's level 1. But there's nothing else they can do to you. But otherwise, could have been dangerous. So no follow through. We know bot lane is getting fairly low, and that means this squad can show up and try to knock this one down. Huhi waiting to cash in with his early relic shield. And come on, FBI, let him get the 21 gold. All right, he's trying to earn you some money. Just let him do it.
Yeah, always want to share it there. Make him feel appreciated. He's patrolling. He's got that bush control on the bottom side, threatening for his Hex flash. Actually, it's a real flash right now. Still has it up, so could be a quick reaction. I believe they do know that Huhi put this ward in the side brush, so that's why they're not having Contractz move up right now. He's hiding, waiting for the Golden Guardians to make the move. Nope, they had no idea.
Here is the squad. They're going to land that stun. This could be all the damage they need. He has to flash early in case there is the Lee Sin shenanigans. So out he goes. Flash down. Back to Hex Flash. Huhi is going to be back on that one. Wave going to be cleared away. And I'm just kind of like waiting for Huhi to earn some gold, because getting some items is going to feel good.
Yeah, definitely the case. And if we start to look at it from 100 Thieves' perspective, game getting really difficult as they're trying to find these opportunities. Ashe Arrow is available, so maybe on the next one you can have better timings with your Bard and Ashe Ultimate, but those are the things they're trying to fish for, because on the top side it's a Karma with Flash Exhaust, very difficult to make anything happen on Hauntzer, and ideally you want to save Ssumday's Summoner spells for the team fight anyway, because they'll be so much more impactful in the team fight. And finding that flank. And it might just have to be another minute of waiting, and then we get our Dragon set up for that Dragon play where 100 Thieves is going to try and crack Golden Guardian's stranglehold on the objective.
All right, well, that's coming up pretty soon, of course. Minute and 10 seconds. That's the part we really care about. When that all comes in, Hauntzer has very easy wave clear here, right? Stacks up the rings, gets the Athenes, goes towards the next piece of ability power. But not too hard to knock down these minions with a max Q. Mid-fight, decent damage there. Ignite comes through, can't land the skill shots though. Ryoma actually trades back pretty well, shielding most of the Ignite damage. As they're once again trading back and forth in mid. Poome helps shove it down. Obviously keeps his stack going as well with going Relic Shield. Very much expected in this kind of a matchup. And it's going to be Herald first. They've got enough time to knock this one down. Closer level 10 to Contractz level 9. But you can see a 38 CSD at 15. That is a lot of extra farm right there on the Olaf. He's got to be really close to level 11. Would love to have it in time for the Drake fight. That's going to be a bit tough, though. Knocking down a turret won't be too bad, but Cody Sun gets some time in the bot lane. Down about 25 CS. Ardent Sensor done for Hauntzer in time for this Drake fight. And this is going to be the first big battle we're looking for. Both teams going to be ready for this one, 5-on-5. Kennen right now in the top lane, but Ssumday will obviously move down to join if he can.
Yeah, and look at the minimap. There are good flank wards for him. They have wards on the red buff. He could teleport in there.
Wanted to get in, can't find it just yet. Shielded up though, ready to move forwards. As the first turret will go down as Cody Sun was unanswered on the bottom side of the map. Sleepy Bubble will not hit Contractz. Still fighting over the mid lane right now. Damonte can't find the poke. 100 Thieves back to the mid lane. Shove that one down. Again, they know the Herald charge. That might force the Bard ulti, but Poome probably wants to save it because there could be a team fight happening. But with two players still in mid and Ssumday not showing TP topside. Okay, they did Tempered Fate, which means Bard ult not up for this one. This should be an easy Drake take, and it will be. Now is there a team fight? As Contractz has 50 health, Hex Flash over the wall, who he wants in. It could just be a dunk on a Cody Sun. Is there a play to be had? Yes, he might almost get Contractz. Finds the slow, pulls him back in, who he gets the kill. And now it's time for a re-engage. A portal over the wall, Poome wants to be safe. Ryoma is low, Damonte low as well. The one for nothing. Bottom turret has fallen, but Golden Guardians will trade that one back.
The Golden Guardians, freak, absolutely steamroll now. That is 3 Dragons, giant gold lead for themselves. They did get the Bard out, ultimate out early with the Rift Herald, and then chasing down Contractz on the other side of the screen. As we were watching that side, it's just Damonte chasing him down, chunks him completely out of the fight. They set up their tower dive. And now we're continuing. Ssumday's ultimate expended as FBI just kind of fenced him off, doesn't let him go for the all-in on Hauntzer.
Yeah, Ssumday going for a fairly typical flat pen early build, but Athenes has MR on it, and so honestly, it's a pretty durable top laner over there, even has a shield power to make sure that his self-shielding is good enough. Closer fighting again for the top side of the map. Thank you for the stun. This makes the scuttle even easier. And he's going to knock that one down. 20 health left, but now there's a fight against a huhi again, but he's very tanky on this man. Has shield if he needs it. When's the shockwave coming down? He's got to be careful. Q's going to land again, puts in the punch. Shockwave comes in. Good shutdown kill coming through for Ryoma. The re-engage is going to look pretty good. The shield and the heal comes in. A drowsy Ashe could be a target, but there's not enough damage to be had as the defense is there. And 100 Thieves get an unanswered kill on the top side.
And not only that, they've got Ssumday split pushing on the bottom side, so Kennen's going to get some work done on the secondary turret down there. Here's another look at how Contractz got chased down by Damonte, though. He R's over the wall to land the sleep, and even though the Ignite is on him, oh my goodness, still in place for that Q to land. So Damonte just completely bullying Contractz away from the Dragon as his team takes it, and then huhi gets to finish the job. Great, there's a living Lee Sin here to stun up the extra kill onto Cody Sun for the other side, and it is a wrap for Golden Guardians.
Now, nicely picked up there. We saw the opportunity for Damonte to flash over the wall to follow, but he chose to go back towards the mid as well and kept the backside of the fight alive. So kudos to him. 2,000 gold lead and soul point. And that is burst damage. Cody Sun will burn to his death. Who maybe could have never faded him, but now there's a fight from Contractz' side. Damonte cannot flash away. Kick is available. They slow him down. They want to set it up with the Q. They will do so. Contractz grabs that one and will walk away. Closer can't find the slow. Is there a re-engage? Is there vengeance? Looks like there is not going to be so. And that is a 1-for-1. A good answer by 100 Thieves.
Yeah, 100 Thieves do get the kill back. Vengeance for Cody Sun, dying there for 80 carries all around, getting 100%ed by Zoe. They do get him one back, but in the end, it is still Golden Guardians that push out the side waves. Hauntzer down there on the bottom side on Karma, working diligently away, does get it up, and there's no other objective for them to take on the other side of it. So it's mostly just, don't worry, Cody Sun, we got him for you.
Feels good. He might have gotten the assist, actually, because the arrow and the CC would have lasted long enough that maybe he got some credit there. So that could feel good. You got, 70 gold out of that, but now Mid is under fire. Huhi is here, finds the dunk. This is a ton of damage. A flash away for Poome. Ulti's going to land. Redemption will keep the man alive, though, and the Bard will stay alive, making happy Bard noises, because his turret is alive, too.
All right, can they actually set up for a good Ssumday ultimate? Because that's still what I'm looking at from the side of 100 Thieves. Other than that, Golden Guardians have just been running the show. Damonte looking for picks. Actually, here we go. Olaf turbo.
Cody flashes. It doesn't matter. It's an unstoppable Olaf. He's autoing. He's landing the spells. Huhi is there as well. 2 more kills in for closer. But now it's time for Ssumday on the back line. Trying to solo out FBI. Doing pretty well, but still 300 health left means there is no contest. Now, there's no Drake yet. The fight only means 2 kills and maybe some wards. Everyone else will stay alive, including that Drake for now. But it means the goal lead has stretched to 3,000 for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, even with Ssumday getting his ults on both of the carries of the back line, doesn't have the damage to finish it off. Can't pull through. Maybe if the extra gold had been spent instead of completing Morelos to upgrade to Sork Shoes to have the double spell penetration with just the orb plus the Sork Shoes, a little bit of damage extra squeezed out there. Regardless, though, don't get any of the kills on the Aftermath, and is, again, just another Golden Guardian chasing down the kills. Closer comes running at you with that Olaf ultimate, 177 CS, sped up. There's no way out for him. He just runs them down.
All right, well, now it's time for Cloud Soul. It's up in 10 seconds, and Ssumday will not have the Slicing Maelstrom for this one. Look at the other side, the Golden Guardians. Almost every single one is going to be up. Once again, the Olaf just charges in. This is the game you wished you had. Every time you play Olaf Karma, Golden Guardians showing how to do it. I'm going in, just support me, buddy, and it works out, no problem at all. The Paralegals doing their work as Closer takes one down again. 4K gold lead, plus there's the Cloud Soul. Even more move speed for the Olaf.
Yeah, it just feels so good as Olaf. You got your speed, your shield, and with your Athenes, Olaf heals so much as he gets in there. Damonte's 1v3 under the tower as well, and then Zoe pops right back, has to use his real flash to be fair, so at least, you know, did have to use a long cooldown there, but still able to get right back out.
Able to live. Good old summoner flash. Good old Zoe mechanics of using your actual summoner spells. That's difficult there, but well done. 4,000 gold lead, Cloud Soul on. Golden Guardians have completely retained control, and like their comp, they've got a front line. Sett support's doing pretty well. Olaf's obviously ahead, 2 levels up over the Lee Sin right now. The shielding to take care of him. This is going to look pretty good. Even a conventional team fight probably looks solid for Golden Guardians.
Because it's so hard. Ssumday, you want Ssumday's ultimate, obviously on the back line, so you can get your stuns and your big damage on the Zoe Aphelios. But he's also the only one with the grievous wounds right now, so he's got the Morelos, so you also want him to tag the Olaf before getting the ultimate on the rest of the team to take away some of the healing sustain that he's getting out of Ardent Sensor from Karma coming in.
Wow, they chose to not go for that one. As to be fair, their mid, top, and their mid and top were nowhere near to be seen, but now maybe a plate, not going to find it just yet. Looks for the face breaker, won't find that one either, but there's still going to be some contest over the mid lane. Baron, of course, is alive and has been for 3.5 minutes. Golden Guardians ready to move back in. Ssumday clearing a scuttle on the bottom side, it looks like, as Damonte shoves in top. That wave's going to crash into the turret. Ryoma will grab that gold.
Alrighty, now you're facing just the super juice of Cloud Soul Olaf, which you already thought it was scary with the Karma speed up. Oh, FBI.
FBI, he's going to be stunned. Is there enough damage? He's going to be fine to stay alive. Ssumday's forced to get away, burning his own flash for safety, as huhi was here, and the shockwave doesn't matter onto Hauntzer. A little bit of a slow to be landed, but no re-engage just yet.
All right, Golden Guardians aren't afraid of anything now. Shockwave is down. The Kennen ultimate and flash are both down. There's nothing to be fearful at all in Summoner's Rift. So you can just easily push out bottom side, set up the entire map in your favor. As long as you get the side waves pushing, just have Karma push one more wave. You can then go get full control of the vision, setting up around Baron or even Elder Dragon. It's a very early pace since they got the Cloud Soul so early. Only 3.5 minutes left more to set up around the Elder Dragon. That is actually easier even to take than the Baron. So they've just got, you know, all the options in the world to them.
All right, FBI goes Hex Drinker. Please do not go Phantom Dancer. This is a lesson we learned recently. The tooltips are there. Yeah, I will want to point out, I want to correct Mark's against something real quick. Hexdrinker and PD never existed in a world where you could ever stack both because PD got a shield way after the change. That blocked the Sterix Hexdrinker stacking. But regardless, yes, you've never been able to do this. Please don't start now. It is not good. PD is very frequently bought on Aphelios, but flat MR obviously very good when you're against flat Magic Pen on Ssumday. You see this build for Kennen. You build the Hexdrinker third. This is correct. FBI is making a good choice. Just don't go Phantom Dancer is all I'm asking for. Mid lane under fire. Let's see the siege.
All right, and now we got Ssumday caught. He's got no flash.
He's going to get punched in the face. He's getting a shield. The Aphelios ult going to land. Huhi getting a bit low, and he will stay alive on the top side. Gets Redemption heal for a little bit, but now the re-engage comes in. Lee Sin already dead. Shockwave gets nothing meaningful as it's time to chase on down. There's kill number 1. It's time for kill number 2. A double 4 closer, and Ryoma is on the way out. He's going to be hit. He's not going to be slowed. He will be sniped, though. And will there be enough of a chase down? Not enough move through to do so, but still 3 kills picked up unanswered. 100 Thieves can do nothing to stop the relentlessness that is Golden Guardians.
Golden Guardians will take the Baron, and then they will be in the demolition business. Time to destroy as many towers as you can in the duration. Over under Freak, 4 turrets.
4 turrets for the Baron
for Golden
buff?
Guardians with their Baron buff, over or under? How many do you think?
I'll go over. I think they'll get over 4 turrets because I can't pick exactly 4.
All right, well, we are going to take another look at how Ssumday got caught. Huhi, with that Hex Flash you're mentioning, does pull him in. Exhausts do go down, and they get the disengage initially, but look at that. Closer, Magical Journey right into the middle, and this is Olaf. You pop your Cloud Soul ultimate extra speed. He left Poome for the rest of the team to clean up. He's like, I got better things to do. Chase it down Ssumday. Gets the double kill, and Ryoma's the only one left alive.
Yeah, I missed the Huhi chase down. The man ran fast, a 4 for 0. This game is absurdly out of control.
Yep, he's back at it again. Running towards Poome, trying to slow him down.
You know, we built this pregame about how FBI is so crucial to Golden Guardians. That man could be AFK, and they would win this game. As long as you can last hit minions, you were fine. Poome could buy. I know you tried your hardest. It doesn't matter. Closer now has 7 kills on the board. Very high kill participation here. Obviously, a very good kill streak. I don't think he'll reach the 12 that he got a few weeks ago, but certainly looking good here as it's time for bot lane to take some more damage. They started with 3 turrets. They picked up 1 so far. Waiting now as the Baron buff is about halfway over. Bit of poke coming through. Bot lane still under siege.
Yeah, it's so difficult for 100 Thieves because they don't have this setup for even trying to punish somebody who's out of position. Now you just have to continually dodge Zoe poke. You know, the bubbles, the Qs are coming over the wall.
Huhi has found Ryoma. He has found himself a kill. Shockwave still cannot do anything meaningful at all. Closer's here to chase down Cody Sun. What does Ashe do? She's built for crowd control, and he is immune to it, but he is in the fountain. And a kill does come through. 1 answered back, but the inhibitor's already gone. They've locked down Poome. They're ready to close the game out right now. They might get 4 turrets, but they might get a Nexus as well. Still a Baron on for a minute. 4 versus 2 inside the base. Turret kill number 3 comes in. Ssumday will try his damnedest, and it will not nearly be enough. I feel like Nexus counts as 2, Kobe. I feel like the spirit of being correct is with me. The turrets are going to fall. Contractz is stuck in the base with a sliver of health, and that is a fast one. That is under 29 minutes. A game win for Golden Guardians, staying 2 ahead of 100 Thieves.
And Damonte doesn't even drop the KDA on the way out. The zone just lasts long enough for them to finish off the Nexus. Stays alive. Golden Guardians, another GG from them. Well played. Damonte on the Zoe, showing that he doesn't have to just play, you know, TF, Galio, blah, 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 this, that. You know, got to play off of Closer. Obviously, the Karma top for Hauntzer worked out, even though Hauntzer wasn't, you know, making any huge, spectacular plays. You don't get to be in the spotlight.
That's
but
fine.
You shove those waves over and over and over. Got his CS to build up his Ardent Sensor, his Athene, and he buffed up Closer.
He won lane, and he was the support that Huhi and Closer needed. Those two just kept going forward. They kept getting buffed, and it worked out great. Both of those guys deserve so much credit. Closer obviously getting all the kills, but Huhi was so many of those engages. Phenomenal play out of those two. Awesome job, the Golden Guardians. With 4 games to play, they're getting closer and closer to locking an upper bracket spot and closer to locking playoffs here as well. Now it's time for us to take a quick break. But on the other side, we've got Huhi for the Verizon post-game interview.
Hello and welcome to the Verizon post-game interview. I'm joined by Golden Guardian support huhi after yet another win versus 100 Thieves. Huhi, how's it feeling after that game?
It feels pretty good, especially after yesterday we had a pretty disappointing game for ourselves. Yeah, after yesterday's game, we were talking as a team, and we decided to play more confidently and not really care about the outcome and be confident on our own play. And I think it showed pretty well in this game.
Yeah, certainly felt like a very clean game from you, which is obviously what Golden Guardians are looking for. But just kind of stepping back and talking about you even being a support, which is not something that has been true your whole career. Now that you've kind of been in the role for a little while longer, what has it been like kind of switching fully to support and now back into the LCS playing a different role?
I think it feels pretty much like the same thing as when I was playing mid. It's just I just have a different job, and I just have to do my job well, and have a good teamwork and communicate well as a team to win the game. So I feel like I'm just playing a different champions, and my jobs changed, such as I have to go wards and I have to roam around a little more. But all other things are pretty much similar.
And then on communication, obviously Closer has been a huge asset to Golden Guardian since joining the team, but often we hear that support and jungle, share a lot of the bulk of communicating in the game about what the team wants to do. How does communication work in your team, and kind of what do you contribute from a different role in that respect?
I think our team is we fairly all talk to each other. We don't have one person that overrules other people. Everyone brings up their opinion, and everyone tries to get on the same page. And sometimes that is an issue because we don't have one overriding call. So sometimes we have some games that looks really sloppy because of that. But I think we are going in the right direction by talking about our problems openly and criticizing each other's and bringing up problems. And we're actively fixing those things. And I feel like that will eventually lead us to the top tier teams.
Well, top tier teams are inbound. Next week, you are playing Cloud9 as one of your matches. Thoughts on your upcoming battle versus C9?
Yeah, I think C9 is the best team in NA, but they are getting caught up by other teams, and I feel like we can next week will be our own test as well. If we can get to our goal, if we can beat C9, I think it will be a pretty good statement for us. So yeah, I think we'll do our best and try to play like we did today.
Well, certainly with the win today looking good, huhi, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we are going to throw it back to the State Farm analyst desk. It's time for the Bud Light Breakdown.
Thank you very much, Pastry Time. Golden Guardians taking the victory there in our final game of the day. Gents, this game started off mighty quick with the first kill coming up in under a minute. And so that's where we got to start, Crumbs, right at the first blood.
This was a brutal level 1 there because not only does Poome face check without anybody knowing that this was part of the plan, he ends up giving the kill to Golden Guardians' best player, Closer, who also has enough time to shop for it. Would have been nice if he didn't need to flash for it, but it doesn't matter. Consider
Their best
Poome,
player missed.
Hang on.
Poome dodged that one.
Consider that Poome had to start E as well, so he sacks the lane already. It's just a disaster from this point onwards, and then they're saying, oh, wait, maybe we could try to counter jungle. It's like, no, you're already so far behind. It's not going to happen. This wasn't close.
I agree. I know. It led to a big snowball in the bot lane. FBI continues to dominate laning phase and CSD and 4%, getting damage on the turret, gold difference, all that stuff. And it also freed huhi up to do what he does best, which is play make on the Sett. He's the best Sett support for sure. We can debate whether he's the best Sett in the league, but he had a lot of great plays this game to get his team those advantages, snowballing off what happened in that level 1.
We might very well debate that fact in a moment here, Mark, but probably I want to get your thoughts as well.
No, I was just going to say, I did like how once Golden Guardians got their small gold lead, they did a good job of setting up for objectives and fighting for them before they got there. Most of the time, you didn't see them having to TP into fights or anything like that. They mostly were at the objective, got it, and then chased 100 Thieves off once 100 Thieves got too close to them. So I really like that they kept their tempo the whole game and never really slowed down because, yeah, when you're playing this Olaf, Zoe, you want to keep the tempo in the game. You want to keep making sure things are going on, and you don't want these lull states to happen.
Right, the tempo may have been gifted, but it was ultra important for Golden Guardians to keep it rolling forward. I want to do a brief hit on 100 Thieves here because this is a team again, kind of hard to pin down. They took down our top team in their first week on the Rift as a new roster, and yet they've struggled at times like this. General thoughts on 100 Thieves, and in particular Poome, one of the newer players on the league.
I gotta say, like, they had such an explosive start. I think a lot of us were really excited. Like, oh my God, they beat C9. They've come back down to earth a little bit since then. Poome in particular, you do see his inexperience showing occasionally in terms of positioning against the TL game. Core JJ absolutely tore him apart with his Bard. And in this game, he wasn't that effective. You saw that level 1 mistake and some of those problems. You could have just died and said, oops, they got me, and still had Q and all your summoners up, and it might not have snowballed quite as hard. Those are some areas that I hope he improves. He's still super young, super green, and all these are very easily fixed.
Yeah, he's now played more LCS games than he's played in Academy. The guy's only been playing League of Legends for a couple of years. Crumbs, did I see you reached something?
Yeah, I was thinking about something. 100 Thieves, I think they need to snowball really hard early. That's what we've seen thus far. Their ability to come back in games isn't there yet, so that's, I think, their biggest area where they need to work on to make sure that it doesn't matter as much whether they get ahead or not, but that they still have a game plan of how to crawl back in.
Awesome. Another conversation that we've kind of generated, kickstarted this whole summer split with the addition of emotes into the game was who uses them the best. And we've had a couple big contenders this week. I know Solo on Friday night was popping off, but I'm going to call out Damonte in this one here. Dodges the huge shockwave in the 4-man gank, flashes thumbs up, and the camping emote. You better believe if 100 Thieves wasn't already mental boom by that point in the game, they were after that play.
Well, I do want to point out, good for Damonte, but a lot of that was players on 100 Thieves mistiming the Bard ult duration and just throwing their skill shots. So I think Damonte's emote was kind of like the nail in the coffin. Like, they felt bad. You miss your skill shots. And they're all ultimates, right? They were all ultimates that they threw out. It wasn't like they're throwing you Ezreal Q, something easy.
But that's psychological warfare right there. When your enemy is at their lowest, you hit them again.
Right. If you just get outplayed, there's like that little nod of respect that you have to give. If you just whiff everything, you feel terrible. You don't go, oh, wow, that guy was so good. You go, I'm awful. And it's a totally different emotion.
Yeah, exactly. Get in there and defeat them in the mental game, minute 1. We had a lot of big performances this week as we saw Cloud9 fall, as well as FlyQuest stack up a 2-0. And within all of those performances, only one player can be named the MasterCard Player of the Week. And this week, the award goes to none other rather than FlyQuest Centauri.
Something in the water, Dash. Something in the water. These fish know something that we don't, and FlyQuest is clearly taking advantage of it. Centauran was pivotal in the Sett game where they faced off against Golden Guardians, and even in the game against Team Liquid where Solo had a really strong Renekton. Obviously, he's not going to be able to solo carry. Needs a team to help him out, and Centauran was right there with him.
It was one of those weeks where even though they 2-0'd, who stood out in each game was different. The Renekton game by Solo was fantastic. Centauran had the better game on that set, like you're saying, and it was back and forth between the two of them. So both players stepped up. They had a tough week, all things considered, against TL and Golden Guardians, and getting a 2-0 was impressive.
Yeah, a big nod to both of them. I have a feeling if we included emote usage into the calculations here, maybe Solo would have come out on top at the end of the week. But either way, a great turnaround for FlyQuest, one of our top 2 teams from spring. So I like to see them back in the running. Speaking of which, as we wrap up the weekend, let's take a look at the Samsung SSD Fast 5 leaderboards to close things out. No new laps here for any of the big overall leaderboards. Of course, we are through week 7, so some of these top times are going to be hard to beat. But I do want to call something out specifically in the support position. While it wasn't a support player who did it today, you take a look at those rankings there. Sven of Cloud9 had a pretty sweet time himself on his transformation.
What was it?
Yeah, what was it?
I'm waiting for stats to ping it to me right now. 11-21.
Pretty sweet.
11-21. That's pretty solid.
It's pretty bad. I got to correct Freak, though. Yeah, that's not a good time. 11-21.
Oh, yeah. Freak was totally wrong about that.
Freak was the one who supplied and said it was a sweet time. It's actually pretty slow. It's expected, though, when you do the double gold per 5.
Double support, and you still did it.
Double support, and you're farming a little bit, so your time's going to be pretty low on getting that transformation.
Yeah, by the way, we had the smart math people crunch all the math numbers to find out what would be the absolute fastest you could complete the support item
And it would be 4 minutes and 20 seconds into the game, assuming you get your first proc at 1 minute and 30 seconds on an enemy champion. So there's, clearly still something aspirational that each of our support players can reach for. Yeah, Mark, you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, man. That sounds pretty rad, dude.
Yeah, man. All right. Let's pull up the standings.
time,
We're losing.
dude.
We're clearly losing our minds here. Let's take a look at where all the teams stand. Team Liquid, they've risen to a tie in first place alongside Cloud9. TSM's 2-0 week keeps them strong in third, followed closely by a rising FlyQuest in fourth.
They barely beat CLG today, so that third place I think is still unstable.
Yeah, what's your guys' take? I mean, do you feel, definitively our top two, that's decided. What do you feel is the next real grouping of teams?
I think
Bottom
we need,
two?
We need to see. Yeah. I mean, I think that,
Bottom three. Can we do bottom three?
I don't know.
Oh my
CLG
God.
and Thieves are tied there.
Oh, that caught me so off guard. Okay, all right. Well, there you go. That's clearly where our heads are at. Let's take a look at predictions, how y'all did today.
No.
Mark with the 7 and...
Yeah.
No? All right.
let's
I
just
guess
give
we
me
won't
that.
We
then.
should. No. I got to.
how the Prophet.
Mark wants to? All right. The Prophet did. The Prophet did middling, 5 and 5. He did as well as the Fish. So, take that as you will. Probably 7 and 3. Mark 7 and 3 on the weekend. Pretty solid. Mark, you're leading the overall standings.
I'm
here on
having
the
a
prediction
great
race.
split. We should do LCS from home all the time. Apparently, I'm smarter when I don't have to actually interact with you people.
Yeah. Have you started working on your acceptance speech for the award if it actually goes your way in 2 weeks' time?
I'm gonna 3D print an award for myself. I'm gonna buy a 3D printer. I'm gonna design it, and then I'm gonna print
buys
it for
their own
myself.
award. I don't think that's how awards work, Mark.
That's actually very true.
I do. I need an award, and no one's.
Have
making
you
me
won
one,
an
so-
award before? Wait a minute.
in my life? Or on the
All right. Now the Fish Gods were great sports this week, but ultimately not able to best most of our analysts. They did tie one of them, but the Sequest Tour Turning
Come on.
Champion of the Reef continues. Be sure to check out their aquarium stream at twitch.tv/FlyQuest if you want to keep up to date, or even make a donation yourself to the Coral Reef Alliance. One thing left to discuss, and that would be our schedule for next week. So looking ahead, let's see what we got. We're celebrating the return of our game show. Lane by Lane begins on Friday, and the league-filled entertainment will continue all weekend long with a slate of games that will closely define what our postseason looks like. That's going to do it for us here on the LCS, though. So now on behalf of myself, the casters, the entire remote broadcast crew, thanks for watching. We'll see you over on twitch.tv/Bud Light for the Bud Light League Lounge. Good night.